Folks, we're 1 year away from the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump's leading the polls on the Republican side. President Joe Biden, of course, on the Democratic side, is likely to be a rematch from 2020 when Biden beat Trump. A co-founder of a Black Lives Matter chapter in Rhode Island says that Donald Trump has done more for black folks than any other president, and actually he is the choice. Mark Fisher is that individual. Mark joins us right now on the show. Mark, glad to have you here. So first and foremost, when you made an assessment about this campaign, and you basically said nobody is good.
That's right.
Okay, explain.
Well, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Everybody else sucks, I said, to quote myself. And, you know, when you look at who we have sitting in the White House right now, I said he's a deep disappointment. He's let me down. He's let my community down. The whole Democratic Party is a complete disappointment. And I think that as an independent, I will endorse Donald Trump as the best candidate that we have.
Why is he the best?
Well, because he's somebody who I would consider a strong man. I consider him somebody who would give us respect on the world stage.
You say we don't have respect on the world stage?
I feel like it's waning. I feel like
it's what?
I feel like it's when we have somebody like Joe Biden as the head of state representing us globally, I don't think it's the same as if it's Donald Trump representing us.
President Joe Biden was able to pull back the NATO coalition, which Donald Trump actually splintered during his 4 years. That played a role in terms of what we see happening with Ukraine and Russia. We have also seen, again, European leaders talk about his leadership. So explain that, because obviously international leaders except for the dictators, they had a totally different view of the foreign policy of the United States under Trump and Biden.
Well, fundamentally, they both come from a different perspective. When you look at somebody like Donald Trump, he's America first. Make America great again. Joe Biden is a globalist from a globalist camp.
How is Trump America great again when, if you look at Donald Trump, even before he got in, he's been doing business all across the country, doing Saudi Arabia, doing China, and all of his deals since he got out of the White House. So how is he a Make America First when that's not how he's operated in his business all of these years?
Okay, well, when you look at the persecution that he's facing, 91 felonies. 91.
So what, you're saying he should have been indicted?
That's not what I said. I said,
No, you call it persecution, so which means that he is being targeted. How is he being persecuted?
Well, Letitia James ran on getting Trump. That was her whole campaign motto. We're going to get Trump. Am I wrong?
The judge in New York has already ruled against them that they actually were inflating the value of their property.
Okay.
Now the trial is going on. No, but you said he's being persecuted. How is he being persecuted? Is he being persecuted in Georgia, where 3 of his attorneys, they actually have already pled guilty in that particular case for their role in the 2020 presidential election in Georgia?
Yes, they did. They pled guilty.
Right. So how's he being persecuted, though?
Because they're trying to use them to get him.
No. How is he being persecuted? Did he not, based upon, according to District Attorney Fonnie Willis, that Donald Trump tried to get officials in Georgia to, frankly, change the results of the election?
Look, I could get you to jump off a bridge or to try to jump off a bridge. And if you jump off a bridge, am I responsible?
Okay, you do know he's on tape calling the Secretary of State saying, find me 11,000 votes. He tried to pressure the governor, the Secretary of State, the head of the elections. So that's just one particular case as well. In the documents case, they asked him to return the documents. He refused to do so. He lied to his own attorneys about that. He told one of his employees, who is now flipped, do not move those documents. So I'm trying to understand, you say he's being persecuted. If an individual committed acts, that's on them. So how is he being persecuted?
Because they're trying to use them to get him.
No, not them. I'm asking you again. If the federal government, if they say these are classified documents, you are to return them, he says no. And they say, we have a subpoena. He ignores the subpoena. When he tells his attorneys took actual notes.
Okay, well, hold on.
No. You said
hold on.
it's being persecuted.
Wait a minute.
And that's just 2 cases.
91 felonies. You can't even keep up with all the felonies. You can't even track all the cases across the country.
Actually, you can't.
And the charges that he's facing. You have to take them one at a time. And there's so many. They're coming fast and furious.
Actually, we can track them. But again, though, if an individual believes that he is above the law and he's not, if he committed crimes, then he should be prosecuted. Yes or no?
Nobody's above the law. That's not the question. The question is, did he commit crimes?
Well, first of all, that's why they're trials.
That's the question.
Well, first of all, that's why they're trials.
Right, exactly. So, but when you talk about somebody who's acting on their constitutional right.
What constitutional right?
Freedom of speech.
Is there a constitutional right to overthrow an election?
He believes, and as many do, that there was some suspect activity involved in the 2020 election.
How many lawsuits did his campaign file, and how many did they win?
So, but what I'm saying,
asking you a question.
I don't know. What I'm saying is
no, I can give the answer. More than 60 lawsuits were filed. They lost them. Courts, Trump judges, Republican governors, Republican Secretary of State certified the election results. Now, here's the question. I'm confused. If there was election irregularities in Georgia, how did the Republican governor win? The Republican lieutenant governor, the Republican Secretary of State. How did Republicans win all statewide offices in Georgia in 2020, but this one race, there were problems?
I'm going to tell you.
How?
Because they're all part of the same deep state.
Dude,
corrupted.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
Let me finish.
Brian Kemp, the governor of Georgia, endorsed Trump, correct or not?
They're all part.
I'm asking you a question. Did the Republican governor, Brian Kemp, endorse Trump?
I don't know.
Yes, he did. Did the Republican lieutenant governor endorse Trump?
I don't know.
Did the Republican Secretary of State endorse Trump? Yes. So again, I'm confused here. All of these Republicans endorsed Donald Trump, yet all these Republicans won. He didn't. He's saying, oh, it's fraud.
So, like I said, when you look at the government, both parties.
Oh, no. Say again.
Democrat and Republican.
You mentioned persecution, and there were 4 cases. You mentioned
especially the Democratic Party.
Hold up. You mentioned 91 indictments.
It's a smorgasbord of BS.
You still, but hold up. You say let's take it case by case.
Suspect behavior and activity.
I'm taking it case by case.
Both parties.
No. I'm taking it.
I mean, he's anti-institution.
Mark, you say
that's the problem that people have with him. That's the problem James has with him. That's the problem Bragg has with him. That's the problem Smith has with him. And that's the problem Willis has with him. That he is anti everything they love.
No, he's not.
Institution.
No, he's
not. They're very comfortable, right? And rightfully so. I'm not here to bash them or hate on them. God bless them. I love them.
But what you're doing is making stuff up.
What am I?
So again, no. You say it out of your mouth. He was being persecuted. You mentioned the 91 indictments. You mentioned the 4 different cases. I walk you through 2 of those. The judge has already ruled that Donald Trump and his Trump organization absolutely inflated their assets, which is against the law. Donald Trump's own accountants testified that they actually inflated. He even inflated the size of his own penthouse.
I just don't understand how people can't think for themselves. You got all these zombies walking around. You're telling me you got all these people walking that can't think for themselves, doing whatever's in their best interest for their own expedience and their careers. But every time it happens, it comes back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Throw him in prison, take all his assets, throw him under the bus, take him off the ballots. Like, you don't think people can see this? So what you're saying is this is anti-American.
No, what you're saying is actually no, because there's a sign above the Supreme Court. It says equal justice under law. What you're saying is you don't mind a liar. What you're saying is you don't mind somebody making.
What did he lie about?
Donald Trump lied about the value of his assets. Donald Trump has lied about not trying to overturn.
Can I say something?
Hold on, Mark, I'm not done. I'm not done.
On that point,
Mark,
I just want to, because you said he lied about the value of his assets. You're saying that he lied, his people are lying for him all the time. So what I'm saying is, if he's asking for 11,000 votes, if they're doing that, if he's asking people to make his property as lucrative and as attractive as possible, And these people are doing it, right? They're doing it. Whether they're doing it or not, that is their own personal business and choice to do that. If he says, I'm looking for 11,000 votes,
you're absolutely,
I know people who have reached out to me, black people, who tell me that there has been all kind of fishy business going on.
And Mark,
double voting, triple, quadruple,
and you're right
quintuple voting. No, I can tell you, people are reaching out to me, telling me they keep calling him Bill, William, Willis, so on and so on. And the Democratic elected.
So you say, oh my God, I see double voting.
That's what people are telling me.
But the Republicans in Georgia.
So I'm just saying,
Mark, wait a minute, Mark.
There's reason.
I'm going to finish, Mark.
There's reasonable doubt.
I'm going to finish. No, it's not. No, it's
That's
not.
all I'm saying.
When you have,
and you can't blame him for that. That's protected under our First Amendment right.
Are you literally making this up as you go along?
So we don't have protected rights.
You do know. You do know.
We don't have the right freedom of speech.
You do know.
We don't have the right to access the courts. We don't have the right to keep ourselves quiet.
You cannot seize ballots.
We don't have the right
to cannot seize voting
not be sieged insurgent, to not be violent. We have rights in this country. And that's one of them, to speak our mind. Assembly.
Mark,
we have these rights.
Speaking your mind and lying. Aren't you a pastor?
I have a background in theology.
Okay, I got a what in theology?
A background in theology.
A background in theology.
Mm-hmm.
Does the
I've never been a pastor.
Okay,
I preached. I taught Bible study.
Question. Yeah. Okay, fine. So does the Bible,
I have a degree in theology.
that you actually read, what does it say about lying?
It said all lies will find their place in the pit of hell with fornicators, homosexuals, liars, and all ungodly form.
Well, that must mean Donald Trump is sitting on a throne in hell, because that man has just lied about numerous things.
Well, listen.
But hold up. I'm gonna ask you this question. You said that Trump has done more for the black community than any president. What has he done?
He's done a lot.
Name it.
Actually.
Name it.
And I'm surprised that most people don't really know.
No, I'm asking you to name it.
Okay.
Name it.
I'm going to. For starters, because this is important as an educated man, and $250 million annually has been allocated to HBCUs, which is big because I went to Hampton. No, it's not a lie. No, it's not a lie.
Stop. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
And minority serving schools.
I'm sorry.
But it's all together. It's for people of color.
Let me ask you a question, Mark.
90 million of it went to black schools.
Mark,
and not only that,
Mark, let me ask you a question.
It was about to be expired. He took the initiative to not let it expire.
You're wrong.
And not only that,
Mark, you're wrong.
Give it a 10-year stay where it was being done every year. He said, why do we have to keep coming back every year to get money?
Mark, what you just said right now is a lie.
What am I wrong?
Let me prove you.
Prove me wrong.
The program that you're talking about started under President George W. Bush.
The president and CEO of the United Negro Fund thanked him publicly.
Will you please listen? See, again, no. When you're operating in an alternative world, I'm giving you for real facts. Let me say it again.
He did not thank him publicly.
Mark, listen.
The United Negro Fund president and CEO, Mr. Lomax, did not thank him publicly.
The program you're speaking of started under President George W. Bush. Mm-hmm. It continued under President Barack Obama. It expired. What you do not know is that Donald Trump zeroed that program out of his budget. It was Congressman Almond Adams of North Carolina who put it back in the budget. She was the co-chair of the Congressional HBCU caucus. Then it went to the United States Senate. Donald Trump, let me tell you again, Mark.
Signed off on it.
No, he did not sign off on it. Again, Donald Trump's budget, which he submitted to Congress, removed the money. Congress put it back in, led by Alma Adams. Now, do you know who broke that thing down? A gentleman named Walter Kimbrough. Do you know who Walter Kimbrough is? Two-time HBCU president who detailed it, who was actually in that meeting in the Oval Office when Trump was there. So what you're sitting on, you're saying, oh, $250 million. Let me ask you this question. How much money have HBCUs gotten in the last 3 years from the Biden-Harris administration?
I don't know, but I never paid $10 for eggs or $5 for gas.
What school did you say you went to?
I never paid $10 for eggs or $5 for gas.
Mark, don't try to change the subject.
No, I'm just telling you. You're talking about the economy. Under Trump, it was booming.
Mark, I'm asking you again.
And black unemployment was at a historic all-time low.
HBCUs.
You want to talk about numbers?
We're going to stay on HBCUs. What school you went to again?
I went to Hampton for a year.
Oh, you went to Hampton.
And then I went to North Point Bible College in Haverhill, Mass.
So let me ask you this question, Mark. You said Trump allocated $250 million to Black and Hispanic serving institutions. About 90.
You're reading it.
No. I don't have to read because I got it up here. You say about $90 million of that went to HBCUs, right? That's what you say,
Yeah,
correct?
that's correct.
Mark,
that is the
are you
recognized
aware,
information.
Mark, are you
consensus
aware,
information.
Are you aware in the last 3 years under Biden-Harris, $6.5 billion has gone to HBCUs, not Hispanic serving institutions, HBCUs, $6.5 billion. So you held up $90 million under Trump and $6.5 billion under Biden-Harris, but you say Trump is better for HBCUs?
You're telling me.
Do you need the proof?
You're telling me Joe Biden.
Do you want the proof?
Gave $6.5 billion.
I'm sorry. Do you want the proof?
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Okay, here's the deal.
To HBCUs.
Oh, no, yes.
And when he can't even,
no.
He can't even put together a reparations commission. Why would he do that?
And a matter of fact,
he's such a flip-flopper.
Hold up, wait. Oh, here we go. You went to Hampton,
He's such a liar.
You went to Hampton, right?
He's such a duplicitous.
Did you go to Hampton?
Did
you go to Hampton?
That's why he picked the vice president he picked.
Did you go to Hampton?
He could have picked anybody else.
Did you go to Hampton?
Because they're both just as duplicitous.
Did you go to Hampton? You said you went to Hampton, right?
Two peas in a pod.
You went to Hampton, right?
She's Indian.
You went to Hampton, right?
HBCU
you went
tours.
to Hampton, did
but
you?
during the tour, she's all Wakanda forever.
See, Mark, see what you're doing. See,
What am I doing?
This is why you love Trump, because you're doing the same nonsense he do. You bring up something, then you switch topics.
You told me you was going to show me. I said I'd love to see it.
Mark, I'm walking you through it.
I'm waiting, bro.
I told you point blank. Hampton University, I'm going to tell you how much Hampton actually got. Hampton University, $48.7 billion under Cap 1, $4.2 under CARES Act, $9.8 under CARES Act.
Wait.
$6 million under CARES Act.
When did this happen?
$12 million. American Rescue Plan, $12 million.
Who?
Last 3 years.
And to what extent?
American Rescue Plan 2, 21. Your university.
You're reading numbers.
Wait.
What is that? What source is that?
Department of Education.
Okay. And when did this happen?
The last 3 years.
The last 3 years, each year.
Each year.
Okay.
The total amount that your university.
Okay, but you're telling me that still doesn't equate to 10 years.
Listen.
$95 million.
Mark, that's a lie.
How is that?
Your own university, Hampton, received $112 million alone. The total amount that went to
over the last 3 years.
The total amount that went to HBCUs
you saying over the last 3 years?
$6 billion.
Over the last 3
$567 million.
You saying Hampton got how much?
$112 million.
Over how long? What time?
In the last 3 years. And I named them. Let me name again.
So you're saying,
hold up. Cap 1 forgiveness.
40
hold up. No, I want you to listen. I want you to listen, because see, right now you ain't listening. Cap 1 forgiveness. CARES Act. CARES Act 2. Then you have American Rescue Plan, American Rescue Plan 2. Your own university got more by itself than Donald Trump signed the bill for all HBCUs.
Okay, but the CARES Act is expired. The act is over. He did a 10-year plan.
No, he didn't.
CARES is done.
It wasn't even him. It was Alma Adams. Okay, so fine, HBCU. What else has he done for black people? What else?
First Step Act. For those who ain't educated, for the non-bourgeoisie class, for those who gotta deal with recidivism and the oppressive tentacles and tenets
Who passed that bill?
Institutions
Who passed that bill?
that crush us on a daily basis.
Who passed that bill?
I know who signed it.
No.
I know who signed it.
Wait, hold on.
Well, you're asking me questions.
Hey, Mark, Ronald Reagan signed the MLK federal holiday and opposed it.
Do you know what the bill does? Do you know what the first step? Because you're really being defensive. You asked me
did the First Step Act
and
pass?
then as soon as I mentioned it, you get in defensive.
No. I'm explaining to you who passed it. Who passed the First Step Act in the House? Who was the co-author?
Bro.
Who was the co-author?
Ask me what did Donald Trump do?
No, Mark. But
I'm prepared to answer what Donald Trump did, not what the House members did. I don't care about the House members.
Wait. I'm sorry. So help me out here.
The Senate. I don't care about Mitch McConnell.
I'm confused. So you don't care.
He's not running for president.
I'm confused. You don't care about the people who actually wrote the bill.
No.
You don't care. I'm sorry.
No, because you want to know why? Because the George Floyd Policing Act is still languishing.
Why?
And because they are a freaking gridlock in Washington.
That's
why.
Who is that?
They don't do nothing.
Who passed the George Floyd?
Get nothing
Who passed the George Floyd Act?
Obama had to sign all kind of orders to get stuff done.
Who passed the George Floyd Act?
By the way, speaking of
passed the George Floyd Act?
Democratic Party.
Who passed the George Floyd Act?
The obsolete antiquated Democratic Party.
So Democrats passed it in the House, and Senator Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham could not get 8 Republicans on board to go along with it, and that's why it's dead.
Okay, but it's dead, right? In Congress.
Because the Republican Party.
But you're asking me why don't I care about Congress, and I'm telling you why.
Hold on, I'm scared. Hold up. But how can you say you don't care about Congress, but you're giving Trump credit for bills that Congress passes?
Okay, I'm giving Trump credit for bills.
How? He didn't pass them.
Get passed.
He didn't. Wait, hold up.
Or
Mark, I'm confused.
Yes.
You don't care about Congress,
right?
But you giving Trump credit for bills that Congress passed,
right? Exactly.
So how can you ignore the people who passed the bills for him to sign?
Okay, and so that's my point. Because in order to get Congress to sign off on the bill, right, which is constantly in gridlock, you have to have somebody who knows how to make a deal.
And he couldn't make no deal.
Who's a negotiator. Who makes things.
This is hilarious. Okay, what else he did for black people? That's
because other than that, what does Congress do? Nothing.
Since you said 2 things, what else he done for black people? What else?
Okay, we have the, like I said, black unemployment was at a historic low.
Actually, you know black unemployment fell lower under Biden than Trump.
Well,
you also know that black male unemployment hit its lowest point in April under Biden than it did in history.
Okay, well, I can tell you it was.
No, I'm just telling you.
No, I can tell you it was lower than it was under Obama. And that's no shot at Obama.
I'm confused. Obama not on the ballot. Again, the black unemployment rate.
Right, because we love to praise Obama.
I didn't bring up Obama.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying we got to keep it real. We got to stop operating from emotion, and we got to stop operating from intelligence and logic. That's all I'm saying. If we want to compete with the rest of the world.
Mark, the total unemployment rate has been lower under Biden than Trump. The black unemployment rate has been lower under Biden than Trump. So how was Trump better for black people?
So like I said.
What else?
Compared to his predecessor.
What else?
Okay, what else? Okay, so other than the HBCU 10-year bill expansion.
Okay, but again, though.
The First Step Act, which reduced the federal prison population. You didn't want to let me get that out, did you?
That Democrats passed in the House. The Democrats improved in the Senate.
And that Donald Trump signed off on.
Wait a minute. Mark, you do know that Reagan opposed the King holiday. It ain't like we crediting Reagan for the King holiday.
Unemployment at a historic low.
Mark,
like I said, the economy was booming. You asked a lot of black people, they tell you they was doing good under Trump.
I'm still confused.
They tell you they was doing real good. And like I said, I wasn't paying $10 for eggs and $5 for gas.
First of all, if the black unemployment is lower under Biden than it was under Trump, how was it better?
Say that again?
The black unemployment has gone lower under Biden-Harris than it did under Trump.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, because you know why? Because black people are the most intelligent people in the world, man to man. And they had to, like we always do.
What in the hell are you talking about?
I'm going to explain to you. They have to pull themselves up by the bootstrap and make shit happen. You heard of the Great Migration? You know what that is?
Yeah. Who led it?
Okay. The black
people. Who led
it? The blacks who said, screw this.
No, actually, that's not. Actually, there's a guy on the wall who ran the Chicago Defender.
Let me finish. And you want to know what assisted that? You ever heard of the Platinum Plan? Do you know what that is?
Wait a minute. Hold on, stop.
No. Let me finish. No. Just let me finish.
Trump Platinum Plan
do you know what
created the Great Migration?
No. What I'm saying is,
I'm confused.
I didn't say that.
The Great Migration was in the 1930s and 40s.
No. Excuse me. I meant the Great Resignation. I apologize. When all black people in droves was like, screw this.
The Platinum Plan. What was the Platinum Plan?
Okay, so the Platinum Plan.
What was that?
It increased income in black businesses.
No, it didn't.
And
the Platinum Plan was a proposal. It never actually got enacted.
What I'm saying is added capital to the black entrepreneur.
No, it didn't.
And
it didn't.
Also promoted and touted Juneteenth as a national holiday. So
Juneteenth
was part of the Platinum Plan.
Are you out of your mind? Juneteenth would have been a national holiday if Senator Rand Paul did not object to unanimous consent. Oh my God. Are you just sitting here just making shit up?
You're asking me about Trump.
No, you're making stuff up.
Questions. And now you're throwing in Rand Paul and
I'm throwing in facts.
You're asking me questions and I'm answering them.
No, you're not answering. What you're doing is you're doing what Trump is doing. You're just making shit up.
So there's no dude,
the Platinum Plan was a plan. It was never enacted.
Exactly. I know.
And he also said.
I know that.
And Trump said,
you know why it wasn't enacted?
Why?
because of the black drove of people who went and got this guy elected.
No, actually,
the droves of blacks who were stuck
first of all,
on
the
Democratic
plan was a
party.
joke. The plan was a joke because
to get this guy elected.
The plan was a joke because it specifically said it was going to do what? $500 billion in contracts? Let me ask you this question. How much the total amount of contracts the federal government gives out every year?
Okay, so
Mark, I'm asking you a question. What's the total amount of contracts the federal government gives out every year?
I don't know.
It's $560 billion. So you trying to tell me that the total amount of contracts the federal government awards every year to everybody is $560 billion, and Trump was going to award $500 billion to black people? Are you literally out of your mind?
So, like I was saying,
Answer the question.
Now, opportunity zones.
Oh my God.
Also, a low-income community incentivized plan. That
I call the Trump White House. Nice try, Mark. I call the Trump White House.
It was proposed to revitalize the inner cities by giving business owners, developers, and property owners.
And guess what, Mark? I had a pastor.
Tax breaks.
Mark, let me help you out.
Capital gains.
Let me help you out, Mark.
To pump life into our dead economies and cities.
I don't know what the hell you read.
No.
But, bruh,
that's what it is.
You are literally.
That's what opportunity zones is, Roland.
Mark, this ain't gonna go on much longer. Because right now, dude, you just making shit up. I literally.
Did he not sign into law?
Mark, listen.
The first and only new historic park in Martin Luther King Jr.'s name in Georgia.
Are you out of your?
Okay, so then.
Oh my God.
He did not sign into law and create a new historic park in Georgia in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't do that, Roland.
You literally say, let's support Trump because a park was created?
No. You're asking me. No, see, this is the problem. No.
I noticed how you skipped over that platinum
This is the problem.
Mark, I noticed how you skipped over those contracts.
The narratives that people believe and buy into instead of creating their own narratives.
I noticed
That's what I'm doing.
Over the
I'm creating a narrative
actually,
like I did with myself.
What you're creating.
Because I no longer choose to be defined by you, by the news, by print, by media, or by my neighbor. Okay. I define myself.
Mark, here's the deal. Everything you just laid out. When I say you are so wrong, when I say you're factually wrong, when I say you can't, and then when you get hit with facts, you want to hopscotch on to the next thing. I brought up contracts, and I gave you the number of federal contracts. Trump said, I'm going to do $500 billion with black people. It's only $560 billion total in federal contracts. That was a flat-out lie. You fell for the okie doke. And so I walked you through. You're touting this $90 million HBCU plan.
He said he's going to. He said what? He's going to do $500 billion.
That was the platinum plan. Mm-hmm. He was going to do $500 billion to black businesses when the federal government only spends $560 billion total for everything. So how in the hell is, if the federal government is spending $560 billion total, he just going to go, I'm going to give $500 billion to black people?
I can tell you what, I didn't hear that. I never heard. I'm not.
You didn't hear it?
No, listen. I didn't hear him say I'm going to, because
it's it's in the plan.
Okay.
The plan that you brought up. The platinum plan.
Now, if he said that he's going to give $580 billion.
No, he says $500 billion.
$500 billion to invest in black people, right?
Where's it coming from?
That's a good question.
You damn right it's a good question.
And now, like,
and it ain't coming from the federal government.
What I'm saying is, like, with a lot of things,
he made shit up.
I can't speak for him. I can't
now you can't speak for him.
No, I can't. I can't speak for him.
Oh my God.
I can't speak for you. I can tell you based on facts. What I know, experience,
you literally
what I read and see,
have not recited any facts.
And historical sources, empirical evidence, what the facts are. That's what I can do. I can't speak for him.
Mark, I feel for you, brother. I know you've gone down some rabbit holes, but listen, you ain't cited any facts. You haven't cited any of that. What you've thrown is stuff out that's easily disproven. Easily.
Let me say something, Roland.
Okay, final comment. Because I got to go to my black lawyers next. Because we're fighting these Trump federal judges who want to get rid of the Voting Rights Act. But go ahead.
It's important to understand that, most importantly...
Oh, my bad. My bad. I need to put on some Marvin Gaye because this is some bullshit. Go right ahead. Most
importantly, we're trying to pivot off of the Democratic plantation. We're trying to make a pivot from this hold.
How about you pivot to facts?
This hold
How about you pivot to facts?
that this party has on my people.
How about you pivot to facts?
That's so destructive to my people
How about
and my
you
community.
pivot to facts?
That's what I pivot to.
You literally.
Now, Trump is the alternative.
No, he's
and
not.
Hey, I support him.
Dude, you literally
That's the most important
You literally
thing.
called the January 6 people dissenters when they were domestic terrorists.
I said what? Say that again?
You have been quoted as calling the January 6 folks dissenters when they actually are domestic terrorists.
Well, listen.
You support them?
I stand in solidarity with any American brother or sister, like I said from the very beginning.
You stand in solidarity with the Oath Keepers?
That's going through hard times.
Do you stand in solidarity with the Oath Keepers? Mark,
because I don't take no pleasure in any American brother. Listen, this is the thing.
I'm asking you a question.
I know how
Do
people
you
feel.
stand in solidarity with the Oath Keepers?
Listen.
Yes or no?
I have empathy for black people, right? Because how do you think I feel in my community? I have been castigated throughout my community and family and friends. So here's the thing. But I know how they feel. I understand.
Mark,
and guess what? Because they hate Trump. But guess what? There's no future in that. There's no future in that. I know how you feel.
No, ain't no future in this country if that lying, narcissistic insurrectionist is allowed back in. You literally have called the January 6 people dissenters. These are people who were domestic terrorists. These are people who were angry that black people voted. Donald Trump kept trashing black people when he would say Atlanta, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Detroit. You had a Republican. I'm not done.
You're making such a broad stroke.
No, I'm not.
That's like they did at BLM in the summer of love.
No.
Every BLM supporter is a rioter and a looter
Donald
and
Trump
an
literally
anarchist.
said, okay.
It's the same thing.
So you think the people who be convicted, they should be let free?
No, I think that there's a justice system, and I think they're going through the courts like all my people had to.
System.
Like all my people had to. Doesn't make it right or moral.
There's a justice system.
I believe it was a setup. I believe it could have been stopped. It could have been prevented.
It was a setup.
Of course. You think we would have got that far?
So January 6th was a setup.
Of course it was.
Okay.
They could have stopped that like that. That could have never happened. But why? It wasn't a good look.
Well,
for
guess
them to
what?
stop
You
it.
couldn't stop it when Donald Trump wouldn't allow the National Guard to become
So now they're handing out cases like Halloween candy, and you don't see a problem with that. You get 20, you get 20, you get 20.
Hey,
okay,
let me
you guys,
be real clear.
Okay, you stay in your comfortable,
Mark, I'm going to be on record. I got
zones.
no problem with the racist Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys going to jail. Yep, there you go, trying to change something. All right.
No. Hey, listen. Like I said, I take no pleasure in any suffering.
Mark, last point here.
Period.
Because I got some lawyers waiting. Here's the whole deal. I'm going to give this last one, since you keep yelling opportunity zones. The black pastor.
No, I'm saying that people. I'm saying that the bourgeois class.
Mark, I want you to
that's
listen.
so comfortable.
No, I want you to listen.
They don't want to see anything change, even if that means shitting on the average black person.
Let me say it again.
They don't want to see it happen because that messes with their comfort.
I'm gonna give you a fact.
That's what I have a problem with.
I'm gonna give you a fact.
My own people.
Mark, I'm gonna give you a fact.
Gave me no support when I started my organization. I didn't get an iota of support from them.
Mark, you in Rhode Island.
For the same people I'm fighting for. But it doesn't matter if it's one.
Is Jeffrey?
That's not even the point.
Listen,
for the same people I'm fighting for. I come here and all the black people tell me you need to drop BLM.
No.
Because you know what? They're doing too well here.
When you come here,
they can't relate to that.
When you come here,
they can't understand what the plight is of black people outside of the DMV. So they tell me drop that.
Mark, when you come here, we dealing facts.
Now I say I support. All people are suffering. Oh, now they don't want to have Thanksgiving with me. Now they want to castigate me in the family. So, okay, you know what?
This is what I find to be funny.
That's what I'm dealing with in my community.
This is what I find to be funny.
But I still love my people anyway.
This is what I find to be funny. I'm going to leave it on this one here. You kept mentioning.
I love them anyway, Roland.
You kept mentioning.
I still go to war. I still go to bat for
I'm going to close this out.
Because black is beautiful.
I'm going to close this out. You kept mentioning opportunity zones. The black pastor from Baltimore who spoke with Trump at the White House when that was announced came on this show that night. 6 months later, he came on this same show and he said it has been an abysmal failure.
What pastor?
The black pastor from Baltimore who spoke. Go look it up.
What's his name?
He was on this show.
What's his name?
You can go pull it up.
I'm asking you, what's his name?
Mark, I'll pull his name up, but it's real simple, brother.
Please.
It's real simple.
I want to know who you're
talking about. It's real simple. If you're gonna run around spouting stuff, bruh, have some facts. Double check some stuff.
Can I tell you something?
Your stuff is so easily disproven. It's unbelievable.
Let me 30
seconds.
Let me drop some knowledge real quick.
You ain't dropped no knowledge.
I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you.
What you gonna drop?
This is what y'all don't understand. People don't care about the facts. You know what they care about? Perception. because that's 9/10 of reality.
And guess what?
This is what I'm trying to explain. You're so concerned with the facts.
Wow.
I'm concerned with the narrative.
I'm so concerned with the facts.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You know what?
Why?
I'm not saying don't be concerned, but don't be overly concerned with them.
Hold on,
because while you're so concerned and beating up on the facts, guess what? People are leaving in droves, and they're disavowing the Democrats, and they're endorsing Donald Trump right under your nose.
So what you're saying is, Roland, don't tell the truth. Be like Trump and lie. Okay.
Right under your nose.
All right. That's a good one to close out on. Mark, we'll see what happens, but I can tell you right now, anytime somebody come on this show, lies will be countered every time. Facts will always be spoken, and you can keep your Trump perception, but I don't live in perception or conspiracy land. I live in what's.
Fanbase is pioneering a new era of social media for the creator economy. This next generation social media app with over 600,000 users is raising $17 million, and now is your chance to invest. For details on how to invest, visit startengine.com/fanbase or scan the QR code. Another way we're giving you the freedom to be you without limits.
All right, folks. So how many times have I told y'all how mainstream networks work and how these media enablers around them work? So last week, I had Mark Fisher on the show, who used to be involved with the Black Lives Matter chapter in Rhode Island that's not affiliated with the actual Black Lives Matter network. And at the end of the day, he couldn't answer a damn thing. But he goes on Fox News, they have him on Fox News, Lawrence B. Jones interviews him. It's an absolute joke. But then New York Post picks it up, Mediaite, which covers the media site, picks it up. And so all of a sudden, then other folks start writing the story. Now, understand, Mediaite didn't do a write-up on our segment. They had a 3.5-minute segment on Fox. We had about 30 minutes, about 36 minutes on this show. They didn't write that up. They love writing up these other segments. They love talking about what's on Fox News and CNN and whatever Megyn Kelly has to say, but they rarely actually do black-owned media. But I want y'all to see the difference when we talk about when and how mainstream media does these stories when you definitely don't see any sort of fact-checking. So just watch this for a second. Yeah, go ahead and pull it up.
Now the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, Mark Fisher. Mark, thanks so much for joining the program. This is my favorite story of the day because it identifies with what I've seen in the barbershop. All the brothers, for some reason right now, are turning tides right now. And I just wonder, what is the big reason? Now to this.
Yeah. Let's freeze right there. First of all, everybody knows that all the brothers, Lawrence, ain't turning no tide. So let's just go ahead and which barbershop you go to? Let's be for real. I mean, you like Philip in Indianapolis, who didn't live in Indianapolis, but lived in one of them suburbs. Come on, Lawrence. Let's be real here, Lawrence. Which barbershop you actually go to? Please, Lawrence, by all means, let us know that black barbershop. But let me go ahead and play. A little bit more. It looks like I had taken it out. I'm gonna play a little bit more because I just get a kick out of how all of a sudden. Because also, by the way, Trump was excited and happy with this so-called endorsement, if you will, from Mark Fisher. But these are the same folks who hate Black Lives Matter. So they're now touting a individual who's involved in the Rhode Island chapter Black Lives Matter, but they hate Black Lives Matter. But now they're trying to actually weaponize Black Lives Matter in their favor because they think it's actually going to do them some good. All right, go ahead. Let's see, play it. Go. Oh, give me 1 second. This thing is acting up here. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this thing up. Because, like I said, I saw this segment, and I've been laughing ever since. Let's see. You should be able to have it now.
Swing
Let's see. Go ahead and go to it. Let's see.
Joining us now, the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Rhode Island, Mark Fisher. Mark, thanks so much for joining the program. This is my favorite story of the day because it identifies with what I've seen in the barbershop. All the brothers, for some reason right now, are turning tides right now. And I just wonder, what is the big reason?
I think personally, it's the duplicity of the Democrats, the hypocrisy. We're not stupid. The brothers are not stupid. We understand when someone's for us and when someone is not. And it's obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us.
Yeah, I keep...
Their policies actually strike at the heart of the black family and the nuclear family.
Yeah, so, you were a part of Black Lives Matter. You founded it there. And now you're saying, you're not saying the entire Republican Party, you're saying Donald Trump. So what is it about Donald Trump? Is it the economics? You noted the black family. What is it going to take for him to shore up this support amongst black voters?
Well, I just think that it's going to take information. A lot of people are misinformed. They don't really understand because they don't educate themselves on Donald Trump as a person and his history. But if they do that, and it's going to take, leaders, educated leaders, getting the word out there, I think that it'll happen on its own and it'll be organic because personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like a real man? How could you not relate to someone like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me pause that right here. Okay, so you heard Mark say that. Now, he said, educated on the issues. Y'all, he spent 36 minutes on this show, couldn't answer a damn question, literally could not provide any facts whatsoever. He talked about what Donald Trump done for black people and was absolutely wrong. Was absolutely wrong. But see, again, I need y'all to understand what Fox News and what the GOP wants to do. They're going to try to prop up him, and I'm calling it right now. Don't be shocked if you see Mark Fisher speaking at a Trump rally. And so when he says that we are susceptible to misinformation, no, that's actually what he's doing. Like, he literally came on this show and was lying. And I was like busting up the lie and was saying, man, that was utter nonsense. And you see what he does when he goes on Fox News. And again, Lawrence Jones ain't going to sit here and truly question him with facts. Lawrence is going to sit there and play the same okey-doke game and advance these lies and, what he's done, how amazing he's been. Okay, it's only about a minute left for this. Go back to this here.
On its own, and it'll be organic because personally, I love the man. I mean, how could you not like a real man? How could you not relate to someone like that?
Yeah, he watches every morning, so I'm sure he's cheering as you're saying this. We looked at some of the polls for Trump over Biden in the battleground states. In 2020, it was 8%. Now in 2023, he has 22%. And that's just not black men. So the election is right around the corner. If you had the opportunity to talk to the former president, I'm sure he's watching right now, what would you tell him?
Call me on my cell phone, man. I'll stop for Trump.
Mark, I'm fascinated by you. Why did you end up leaving Black Lives Matter? Or are you still affiliated with it?
No, I'm still affiliated with it. All day, because the thing about it is my message that I preach and that I tout is unity. It's a message of unity. It's unity driven. I want to bring together all the marginalized groups from the...
Okay, all right, so enough of that nonsense. So this is what I need people to understand. I need y'all to always to recognize the grifting game when you see it. When Mark finished this show, my producer walked him downstairs and they were going back and forth, and she literally said, "Do you believe the stuff that you're saying?" And he said, no. He said, "We got to shake this thing up." See, what I need y'all to understand is some other black folks just like him, and some of y'all listen to them with their little YouTube channels, and this is what they had to say: "We got to shake this thing up." This was a 3.5-minute interview. Did y'all hear one policy that was brought up? Did y'all hear one thing that's no? It was, ooh, Trump a strong man. We need somebody strong, and I love the guy. That's what they do. So what they do is, and yeah, there's some other black men, and I've heard them, yeah, man, Trump, when he say he gonna do something, he do it. Yeah, like grab a woman by her vagina. Like lead domestic terrorists on January 6th. And then when you fall for the okie doke and the lies, such as he fully funded HBCUs when he didn't, when you got black people running around talking about, yeah, man, our pockets were full when Trump was president, COVID money, PPP, other stimulus money. And let's be real clear. If you are not top 1%, you did not benefit from that Trump $1.8 trillion tax cut. And my issue is not with somebody black voting Republican. There are other black people who I know who vote Republican. But what I'm not going to do is let you just lie and make stuff up and then try to act like we're the ones who are stupid. Go back to my panel here. The reality, Reese, we know the game that folks play. And as I said, you didn't hear a single policy brought up in that whole conversation. All you heard was a bunch of mumbo jumbo and Lawrence B. Jones fanning out because a black dude from Rhode Island who is affiliated with the Black Lives Matter chapter there all of a sudden said he loved him some Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, he's auditioning for maybe HUD secretary under Trump 2024 because obviously Trump doesn't feel like you need to be qualified to be in that position as long as you're black. I mean, it's really ridiculous and absurd to try to paint a person who is facing 91 counts on multiple state and federal local charges as a person of character is absurd. We've seen how Donald Trump has acted reprehensibly for decades now. Like, this is just straight up bullshit. And he's just being a buffoon and a blackface, black foot soldier of white supremacy, hoping to get a check out of it. But it don't seem to be upgraded too much. His background ain't looking any better. He ain't got a better camera, better wardrobe, nothing, Chad. Like, if you grifting, you still in stage A of grifting. You need to be getting a little bit more money up front before you sell this much of your soul, homeboy, because we ain't buying it, and Republicans ain't buying it with enough money.
The thing here, Lauren, is you look at some of these other people, that fool Officer Tatum, he been running from me for years. Candace Owens been running for years as well. Again, the people who don't know, it's easy to be duped by these dupes. But when you sit here and walk them down and you walk them through the facts, they can't answer any of the questions. So what they do is they try to be loud. They try to throw out bumper sticker phrases, and they try to go with the plantation language and thinking that's what's going to sit here and push somebody back. And I'm like, no, we're not going to fall for it. And I've had other people, Lauren, say, man, I don't know why you had them on. I said, because you have to expose stupidity so people then understand what the real game is.
Yeah, I really think that when we look at these people, you know, obviously we're going to have several episodes of this. We already had the Sexy Red episode. Now we're having the Mark Fisher episode. I'm sure we'll have some rap star that the Republicans, we had the Kanye West last cycle. Oh, Kanye West is running for president. I mean, and this all comes from the fact, unfortunately, that the powers that be in right-wing media think black people are stupid. That's what this really is. They think black people are stupid. They think if you throw a rapper in front of us and the rapper tells us to do something, you know, we're going to do it. And there's absolutely no evidence of any of that. There's no evidence whatsoever. The two biggest, most loyal voting blocs of the Democratic Party currently are black women followed by black men. It's been that way cycle after cycle, and it will be that way again next year. The question will be what the level of intensity of that turnout will be. But this idea that you're going to throw a rapper out there, or an actor, or a Hollywood star, or something like that, and then all the black people are going to be, you know, foolish, that's crazy. And of course, Fox News leads the pack at this idea that, you know, you can throw some guy on. Remember, none of these people are validators are people who African Americans trust or care about. Okay, nobody is looking at Fox News and believing anyone who says that they're hearing this in a barbershop, that everybody's going for Donald Trump. That is craziness. But of course they're going to try to throw that out. These people are not validators. Nobody cares what they say. Nobody cares who Mark Fisher is, you know. And so that's the reality of it. The numbers will reflect that next November. And the question will be, will these third-party candidates get enough support to shave off enough support to make things closer than they probably should be? Of course, remembering, of course, that Joe Biden won by 8 million votes last time, but you got to remember, too, that this is all an outgrowth of the fact that we have gone now 20 years. 2024 will mark 20 years that the Republican Party has not won the popular vote. They know that. And that's why we're playing these games of rolling idiots out that nobody has ever heard of to say that black people are going to support Donald Trump. And, you know, as I said, there's no evidence. And, you know, Fox News loves their black flunkies. They love their Leo Terrells. They love their Jason Whitlock. You know, and once again, these people are clowns. I think they're regarded as clowns for the most part in the black voting community. There is no evidence that they have any influence.
Greg, what also is so funny to me is that it always cracks me up that when one of these utterly confused Negroes, when you talk to them, they always go, "I'm a free thinker," as if the rest of us don't think. "I'm an independent thinker." Well, so are we. We just actually think.
Absolutely. I mean, you really said it all, Roland, when you framed this by saying that when your producer walked him downstairs, he said he didn't believe it. This is a hack. This is a rented person. And you know, and it does belie logic. But we're not talking about logic here. I mean, let's sit here and think about this. On the 30th of November, 2023, we're actually talking about Donald Trump potentially being returned to the White House. That should tell you the state of affairs in this country.
Yep.
Argentina just elected a purebred fool to be the president of Argentina. So it isn't just an American malaise, but what we're seeing here, there are a lot of moving parts. I agree with Cliff Albright, and you know, Cliff is a staple on this network. You all talk extensively, Cliff and Latosha. And Cliff's like, you know, just like we heard a minute ago, Lauren, in the earlier segment, you know, let's just wait until this time next year before you start polling people about this, because I suspect the answer will be a little different. But if we're trying to read tea leaves, when Coke is now backing Nikki Haley, the people who are looking at this are betting that Donald Trump may not be the candidate. Nikki Haley, propping Nikki Haley up, will that be enough to save the white nationalists? It might be. But Donald Trump just announcing that if he's reelected, he's going to dismantle Obamacare. In the same week, I think Friday, Roy Cooper is going to sign legislation expanding Obamacare to the 40th state in the union. The Republicans are like, this guy got to shut up. On that side, they are desperate trying to stop Trump, trying to prop up Nikki Haley. I mean, hell, and then tonight, I think it's later tonight, that DeSantis and Newsom supposed to be debating in Alpharetta, Georgia. I mean, right now, this is cacophony. But at the center of it is a white nationalist fascist who is, if he is reelected, promising to lock people up by the millions in cages, to deport people by the millions, to destroy Obamacare. And meanwhile, you got people like this brother coming on this platform, going on Fox, because somebody gave him a couple of nickels or the promise of a penny more, like Reese said, to put out whatever shill he needs to put out, because he, unlike the millions who will be harmed if these white nationalists get back into power, he, unlike them, will have his 30 pieces of silver. He should not only be dismantled, now in with this, by facts, by consistently drumming out the facts and keep hammering at the facts, but at some point, we've got to do what you've been doing all along, which, by the way, as you're making the point, mass commercial media is trying to give itself credit for, as if you weren't calling Donald Trump a liar from jump. I saw Lawrence O'Donnell yesterday saying they were the first news platform to do that. And I'm saying, dude, come on, y'all still running that? Nope. But in addition to hammering the facts, we've got to now understand this is a pure propaganda war. And we got to treat it like a propaganda war and stop acting like these people are talking about the truth when they say themselves they don't believe it.
Yep. Again, you counter the propaganda with actual truth, and you decimate them. See, I love, last point I'm gonna make here before I go to break. Like, I love some of these so-called conscious Negroes out there on social media who go, yeah, well, you were debating that white supremacist Richard Spencer, you didn't go at him like you go at some black people. And my response to them always is, you're a perfect example of someone who has, one, no relevance, two, doesn't understand what the purpose was. See, what all these people forget is the New York Times and the Washington Post had done these stories that I thought were frankly insulting on Richard Spencer, talking about the clothes that he wore and him going to a private school in Dallas, and his whole it was like this nice sheen over his white supremacy. And that's when I said, book him on the show, because I need to expose the idiot. And it was after he came on my TV One show, and I exposed the idiot when all the pieces for him began to crumble. Then it got so bad, the boy had to move to Montana or somewhere with his mama, because he got sued by everybody, lost everything, got kicked out, and he damn near became a Democrat. Because he just lost everything. And so what I keep trying to explain to people, you can't run from these loudmouths. You must run to them and expose them. That's why Fox News will never call me. And I've emailed their producers, because they like, nah, we ain't putting that one on. See, they love loud. They love loud and crazy. They love that, okay? But there's some folk they not gonna call, because they be like, yeah, we're gonna leave that one alone. And so I need our people to understand what the game is, because we're gonna see a lot more people like Mark Fisher over the next year. And guess what? We're gonna take them apart one by one.
When COVID happened, poor people were dying at a rate already of 800 people a day. Before COVID, if you went to a funeral every single day, it would take you 600 years to attend all the funerals of the people who will die from the ravages of policy violence, poverty, and low wages in America in just 1 year. It would take you 2 years and 19 days to go to all of the funerals of the people that will die today, and oftentimes silence. Nobody talks about this political genocide, but we are determined today to remember their death and be a resurrection of voting power and voice power like never before.
Economic justice and saving this democracy are deeply connected. We, as a nation, must listen to the demands of the poor, who are pushing and will continue to push political candidates and elected leaders to lift from the bottom so that everybody can rise.
We are the poor, the marginalized, and the underpaid. And we are taking one step forward to say that everybody has a right to live.
Poverty is not the fault of those who are impoverished. It is caused by those who make the policy.
There are over 135 million poor and low-wage, low-income people in this nation.
The biggest block of potential voters by far is low-income, low-wage voters.
I can't afford medicine. Sometimes I have to skip because of the cost.
The farm worker community is tired of the violence imposed upon us by greed, exclusion, and denial of basic human rights.
Those folk that represented by that casket, poor and low-wage workers who are the most moral people in this country because they go to work every day believing, even though going to work is hazardous to their health.
I'm tired of working 70 to 80 hours a week and still not have money for the necessity of bills. I'm tired of getting sick and not being able to go see the doctor. Having to make a choice to pay between rent or the light bill or food or clothes.
You cannot claim to care about families and a culture of life and then do everything in your power to rob people of equal access to resources and to force them to live in poverty.
Leadership of both parties have waged war on poor people and low-wage workers.
And this government has treated people experiencing poverty, including their military families, with disdainful, deliberate, malicious neglect.
So the truth is that my son died from poverty, We refuse to accept poverty as the fourth leading cause of death.
The fourth leading cause of death in this, the richest country in the world.
We march today for our children and the generations to come.
And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
We will voice our demands and register our vote.
When we stand up and when we stand together, things change.
There is the electorate that is, and then there is the electorate that should be.
34 million eligible poor and low-income voters did not vote in 2016. If just 20% of those voters in swing states were mobilized around an agenda, they could change the political outcome of every election. So we're launching the most massive voter mobilization and turnout campaign in history of poor and low-wage voters, allies, and religious leaders.
People are dying, but we know it doesn't have to be this way. And so we are calling on everyone to join us in this Poor People's Campaign, a national call for more revival.
We are here, we will be seen, we will be heard, and our power will be felt. We don't need to be an insurrection. We are a resurrection that will be felt across this country. Are you ready? 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 We are a resurrection, and we are ready.